Hello everybody, welcome to the final episode of Huddle Up. I'm Elizabeth Jeske. On today's show, we sit down with Coach Kim Morano to talk about the Chargers football season and the future of the Spotswood Chargers program. This is the final episode of Huddle Up. We'll be back after this.
Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. Hello, we're the guys from Sports Talk. I'm Pete Metro alongside Chris Osceola and Nick Delaglio.
And in order to find out what happens next, you guys are going to have to tune in daily. Every show is recorded Thursday.
And remember, score some offense.
With us today, we have Coach Cam for our very last show. Hi, Coach Cam. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So, are you proud of how far the team has come?
Oh yeah, we just did a great job this year. I was elated to have the season finished. Just did a great job.
Do you think that the team had played their best last Friday night?
At times, yeah, I thought we competed at a high level. Years ago we were like a big Group 1 playing Group 2s. But we had every opportunity. We had lots of chances to win, and it proved we belong.
How did you and the team react to the loss?
It was tough, and I think there's two ways to feel. One, you're upset about how the game itself went, because anytime you lose and you're competitive and you put all that time into it, it's difficult. The other is it's the end of the season, and so you're dealing with two things. You're dealing with the opponent and not winning the game, and then you're dealing with the realization it's over. So it wasn't easy, but like always, we stuck together, and we have a lot to be proud of.
So last Friday it was a little bit cold outside at night. So what was it like playing in the cold?
Oh boy, it was different. We haven't played a night game since week 3, but our guys get pumped up for it. But we were way out in Huddle County. I mean, it was a beautiful scene, but the wind was whipping and it was cool. Our guys like playing in the cold. It didn't really affect us.
How did you prepare to play in the cold?
Well, one thing we talk about is hydration, because even though people think you have to hydrate in the heat, but when you add more clothes and you're exerting yourself, despite the temperature and the wind chill, you can actually dehydrate just as fast. So we talked a lot about hydration going in, but other than that, in terms of offense and defense, we didn't change anything.
So did a lot of people come out to support Spotswood?
We had a great crowd. I mean, it was terrific. I turned around when we came out after pregame. I turned around and looked. I said, I can't believe it. This is great. And I think the nicest thing is we're walking out for the second half behind the stands, and as we're coming out, people were really cheering us and supporting us. And it was kind of the culmination of a good season, and people were sending us off the right way, and it was very flattering.
Do you think that it was mostly students or parents?
We had a good mix. The students traveled. They were there, making some chaos, and we had a lot of parents and familiar faces. It was a long ride. I was really flattered to see everybody out there.
Is there anything you could have done better during the game?
Yeah, I would have liked to have less penalties. We've been penalized all year and through our own doing, definitely. But I think if we had less penalties, we might have had more opportunities. But you gotta roll with it and take it as it comes, and you don't get those back.
Do you think that the team played better than last year's game against Delaware Valley?
I'm going to say yes, because in the second half last year, they took control. They just took control. This year, it was 21-13 in the third, and we were driving. So I think it demonstrated to everybody that, forget it being the 7 seed, we were right there, and we can compete for a state title now, and that's the goal.
Do you think that the players expected how Delaware Valley would play since Spotswood had played them last year? Yeah,
that was the best thing, is now we're getting used to them. And I think the way they run their offense, they really don't want to play people who are familiar with them. So they gain an advantage. But now that we're getting used to it, I'd like to think we play them again, it'll be a closer margin.
So how did you keep the ball in play and keep on scoring touchdowns?
We ended up throwing the ball early. We just said, heck, if they're not going to honor us outside, we're going to throw the ball and get it out there with quick passes. And then once we kind of loosened them up a little bit, we gave the ball to Joe Hayford, and we were just pounding them. We took the line of scrimmage in the third quarter and had something going.
Do you think that Delaware Valley had changed some of their play since last year?
Yeah, they were a little different in what they did on offense. They did a lot more shifting. So before the snap, they would deploy one side of the formation and then they'd move to the other side. And that's tough because then you have to communicate and you have to readjust and all that. But, it's a compliment because they didn't want to give us any advantage and just stay where they were. So, they played appropriately.
Were the players pumped to play the game?
Yes, and I was worried about that because sometimes, you have the peaks and valleys. So we win a division title in this dramatic fashion, and everybody's feeling good, and then you got to prepare for a state playoff game, and you can't take that for granted. But guys were ready to go, had the right attitude, came out playing hard, and I don't fault their preparedness or their attitude at all.
What was the bus ride like there and back?
It was nice. We had a nice bus, and it was pretty top notch. You know what? I got to say, and this is what really impressed me. The guys on the way back, they were tired and they were disappointed, but they did it the right way. They were talking about the season. They were laughing. They were enjoying being together. And, at the end of the day, it still is about the relationships and the bond you make playing high school sports. I really believe that. And, despite the loss, you still have to stick together, and they did. There was a lot of handshakes and hugs after the game and generally a good feeling.
What emotions were you feeling during the game?
Well, it's hard because I am responsible for everything that goes on, but at the same time, I'm close with my players. I care about them as individuals, and I do believe that the senior needs to get his last shot in. So I have to both manage the game and manage my own emotions, which isn't the easiest thing, and I'll admit that, but I try to keep it real and just keep them going and be honest with them. And not let it get the best of me. But at the same time, if it's my last game, I'm going down swinging, and I am not going to let up. I yelled at the refs in the fourth quarter, hey, I'm still working too. We were down 3 scores, and I felt like they were kind of one leg off the field, and I was not having it. So I managed my emotions, I'd say.
Did you expect your team to come this far from when the season had started?
That's an outstanding question. In August, I think we're all saying we need to get in the playoffs and we need to win, and we have these ultra high expectations, which is good. Then, as things transpired with all the injuries and all the the ups and downs, and whether or not you win a game you should or lose a game you shouldn't, and the margin of victory, we were all mixed up when it came to our priorities. And I think something happened. We got it straightened out. We beat Homedale for homecoming. We got a little boost, and then. These guys took it one game at a time. It's such a sports cliche. But if you're focused on, we should be awesome, you're not focused on the week. You're not focused on the opponent. You're worried about something you can't possibly attain. So when it got small and we started focusing on just the games of the week, we were rolling. So in the end, we got where we wanted to be. But it was an interesting journey, that's for sure.
Would you say that the Spotswood football team had a great season?
Oh, without a doubt. 20 wins in 3 years, 3 division title games in 3 years, 2 division championships, beaten South River good 2 years in a row, which is always enjoyable, and beaten Metuchen 2 years in a row, and they're very good, and I was thrilled.
Is there anything you wish you could have done different this season?
I'd like to have the first month over again. Just give me September back, but. If it is in fact a journey, maybe we don't finish as strong if we don't gut it out and deal with the difficulties of that first month. Because I didn't have to reference or make note of the fact that we did not play to our potential early on. And so people were more focused because they were so mortified at how we opened the season.
Do you think that the team had played better this season than last year's?
It's tough because last year's team had a nice finish to the season as well. But it was clear who we were and what we were going to do down the home stretch. This year we went into every game saying, well, we got to see who we can take advantage of and who's going to step up. And so I'm just going to say that every Monday when I showed up to work this year, at the home stretch of the season, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. I knew we were going to work hard, but I wasn't guaranteeing anything. Whereas last year there was like a quiet confidence. But hey, I'll take it.
Do you think that they have improved a lot since last year?
Yeah, I think what the improvement is that our guys improve from the start of the season across the board. We saw incremental improvement in technique and reaction and read and response from week 1 to week 10. So we had guys on the field week 10 who were doing stuff better than they ever did it. So instead of leveling out, this team got better week after week. And I think that's the difference between this year's team and last year's team. Last year's team was consistent, but I don't know if we really peaked, whereas this year's team got better every week.
So what are your expectations for next season?
Well, you see, now the nice thing is, having won 2 years in a row, there's a set belief that we should compete for titles. And I don't have to sit there and promote it. I mean, heck, these guys have witnessed it. So I expect us to work hard. I expect us to do all the little things when it comes to lifting and getting good grades. We're going to work very hard next June when we start minicamp. We're going to have a rigorous summer program. And I think these young guys have recognized, this is part of my expectation, is the best guys are going to play and the most committed guys are going to get the first chance. And that's sort of where we're at as a program. So we want to compete for titles.
So what advice do you give for the players that are returning for the next season? Hit
the weights, go to class, do your grades, do your homework. It does matter, because if excellence, what we repeatedly do. So if you're going to do well in school, you're going to do well in the weight room, you're going to do well in practice, you're going to do well in the football field. It's very hard to do poorly in school, poorly in the weight room, poorly at practice, and then hit a switch and be good on game day. So we try to develop those sort of winning habits. But we got a nice group of guys coming back. We got lots of bodies, and they're all hungry. So I'm excited.
So will you miss coaching some of the seniors, since you have coached them most of them for 4 years?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's going to be strange not hearing Louis every day. It's going to be weird not seeing Chris Nardine and Joe line up on defense. It's going to be interesting, but it's been really enjoyable. I coached their brothers, and I coached them, and I feel like I've known them forever. And we talked about family this year, and I have my family on my coaching staff, and there is something very family oriented about the football team, and the legacy that these guys left will hopefully make an impact on their football brothers.
Do you want them to come back and watch some of the games next season?
Oh, without a doubt. I always tell them, you get 60 credits, please come back and coach, because you know the system, you know what we want, you know what practice is like, you know how I operate, and so we're building a little culture here. So yeah, I love it, man. When I walk out there on game day and I see kids I coached, hanging over the fence and waving or coming by and shaking my hand, it makes you realize you can impact people in the right way.
What seniors do you think will play college football?
A lot of them have an opportunity. I'm not sure. You ask any senior right now in the state who just played high school football or is still playing, they're all like, yeah, I'm playing. But the question is, do you want another year of high school football, or do you want a year of college football? Because they're very different. Any of the seniors could try and do it. I know Sean O'Connor has some opportunities, Derek Schneider, Lou Vaca, Joe Hayford, to name a few. They're going to have coaches come by in the next month who are interested in them, and then it's up to them. College football is triple the commitment of high school football, and probably half the fun. So they really got to have the desire, but I'll give them a shot and try to help them out in any way I can.
What do you think the seniors will miss most about playing?
I think you miss the camaraderie, you miss being together, you miss the battle of game day, you miss the rewarding feeling when you walk off the field. There aren't a lot of outlets for young men nowadays. Twitter's no outlet, going to the gym's not a great outlet, especially when you can get a shake and sit there and watch TV. But you get an opportunity to go out there and duke it out and sort of deal with your emotions in a constructive way. I think that's probably, even when I was young, that was the hardest thing for me to walk away from.
Do you think that the team had became a lot closer throughout the season because the motto for the team is brothers?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because they make these shirts and they give them out, but that doesn't mean we were actually like that. And then we were. When you're 2-2 and you feel as though you should be 4-0, and who's hurt and who's overachieving and who's underperforming, it's a gut check time and you look in the mirror. But then what happens is when you get a little success and you learn that sticking together and working together and making everybody a valuable part of the team is the way to go. Boy, you ought to see them get together and mold together and stick together. And it was evident, especially after the Metuchen game, how close everybody was.
What does that motto mean to you?
I think what it means is you're going to make friends you never would have made otherwise if you didn't play sports. Especially with the people being from other towns, folks are very divided, which is ridiculous because they're all very similar, right? Everybody's got a factory in their town, everybody's got railroad tracks, everybody's got an old lake, and everybody's got 4 little leagues, and they're all very similar. But when you get together and you work hard and you sacrifice and you encourage each other and you have success, it's really remarkable, and people do get a chance to build a bond. That's forever, because I still talk to guys I played high school football with. I know their little brothers, and I know the people from the town that I played in, and I see them, and it still matters, and we're providing meaning for them, and the meaning it carries through, and if that makes them brothers, and that's okay with me. What
is your favorite thing about coaching this team?
Oh man, the sheer chaos of game day. I'll tell you what, I love teaching. I love getting up in front of the class. I love working with kids on literature. But I truly, when I put the whistle around my neck and I walk out there with this team, I got a play script. I got a practice script. My coaches know what to do. But you have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, and even then you see it on game day. Metuchen runs a fumble back 100 yards. Okay. Like, they were absolutely fine. I was fine. If that happened week 3, my head would have exploded. But we were all right. You know what? So this team kept me on my toes, took years off my life, thinned my hair, but it doesn't matter. It was outstanding.
What will you miss most about coaching this team?
I think what I miss is the challenge of their expectations and, that fun kind of underdog feeling we had this year, because we did not get picked in the title game against Metuchen by anybody to win by even a small margin. And it was kind of fun taking the field with that underdog mentality, like nobody respects us, because that's a heck of a motivator. It sure motivated me, so that was fun.
So after the many years of coaching at Spotswood High School, what is one thing you would like to do different for the future seasons?
One thing I'd like to do different. I would like to have more guys, honestly. I'd love to have 80 players. I wish I could have 10 coaches and 80 players. But, I'd also like to be 5'11". I'd like to have a Dodge Charger RT. But I'm 5'7", I drive a Chevy, so I got to roll with it. But ultimately, I'd like to win a state title. To me, that is the next step. Let's win a state title. Nobody thought we could win a division title. We did it 2 times in a row. Nobody thought we could beat River, and we've made that a habit. So the next thing is win a state title.
Is there anything that you want to say the same?
I like our small town feel. I like our sense of guys working hard in the weight room and getting on the field, and I don't think that'll ever change. It's not about stars. It's about, we're average Joe's gym. We're regular guys, and we get it together. We get it right, and that'll never change.
Will you have more free time since the season is over?
God, yes. And I said to my wife yesterday, I said, I get my life back, and I love every second of it with football, but, things like laundry, things like mowing the lawn, things like, just keeping up on daily life stuff and just being home before dark will be nice. I mean, I was getting home 7:30, 8 o'clock the last 3 weeks every night. And, hey, I love it. I signed up for it, but it's going to be nice being able to have dinner with my wife, watch TV, and be normal. That's going to be nice.
So what will you do on your free time?
Well, I'm supposed to exercise, but we'll see how that goes. I got a lot of shopping to do for the holidays. There's a stack of books I want to read. that stat gets bigger every year. I'll give myself a month off and I'll start planning for next year in January. But I'm just going to enjoy myself. Having nothing to do ain't so bad, so I'm ready to enjoy it.
So a couple weeks ago, the referendum was passed, and there will be new bleachers. So what is your opinion on that?
Oh, that's outstanding. I'll tell you what. When I turned around at homecoming, at the Metuchen game, when I turned around and I saw the stands just packed to the gills with our people, and I just said, man, this is great. And I do think people deserve to come to a place that's nice, and I do think they deserve to go to a place that's updated. Nobody asked for anything new; they asked for updated. It's been the same old stuff forever, and we've always done a good job here in the district of making do with what we have. But there's a point where you got to get with the times at least, and get things to be modern. So I'm really excited for it. I think it's really practical, and I think now it's on us to keep it packed in. We should have 1,000 people at a game every week and keep packing it in. And the community deserves it. They should come somewhere where, they feel proud when they come to our stadium and say, this is a great place to see a game. Our kids benefit. I want the 5th graders and the 3rd graders to come there and go, hey, this is pretty cool. I want to play here, because it does have a charm. It is small town USA. We're one of the few teams that still plays day games on Saturdays. So you know what? We're going to have a good crowd. I think it's great.
How do you think that it will affect the next year's seasons or future seasons?
Practically speaking, I know we'll be away probably early in the season, but that doesn't bother me. I think the important thing is people are going to come to our stadium and say, these guys are doing it right. It looks good and it looks appropriate. And it's a great place to see a game. And I think that's a good thing. And I'm very grateful to the community for deciding that the referendum was worth it because after all, I mean, we are the result of their efforts and their intentions. And if they support us, it just makes us feel good.
Do you think that it could attract more people to the games?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, let's face it, the home stands are small. Then there's like detached stands. The visitor stands are real small. There's 400 fences around the thing. Aesthetically speaking, I think it has some charm, but I think having one giant set of stands would be great. Having a nice visitor stand would be great. Because, I mean, look, there's places you go to see a game that are fun places to see a game. I mean, when you go to Dunellen, yeah, okay, the visitor stands are small. Their home stands are big. They have no track, so you're right on top of it. And it's a nice place to see a football game on a Friday night. I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't have that.
So, do you look forward to doing the show again next year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's great. Obviously, I can talk a lot, but it's been a lot of fun working with you. You've done a great job. And the way I look at it, if I can promote our school and our activities and the experience here at Spotswood, then I'm all for it.
Why did you like coming onto the show, every week and talk about, football?
It hit me. I was in the teacher's caf, and Miss Hetzler said to me, she goes, it's like 2 a.m. the other night, and I hear you in my living room. And I'm like, easy now, wait a minute. And she's like, no, you were on the local TV. And I'm like, I didn't know. I thought this was just running in like the front office. I didn't realize it was going on all over the place. So I think it's great, and despite the camera angles, I'd like it cropped a little more, but no, I love it. It's great. It's fun to do, and I appreciate you guys having me.
So, do you watch it at home?
I've gone on YouTube with the wife and watched myself, and she gets a kick out of it, and I like it. I think it's great, and you guys you're asking me real questions. You're not throwing me cupcakes here. I mean, when we lost, you guys are grilling me, and it's okay. It's good. Anything I can do to be part of the process is great.
So last night was banquet. So how did that go?
Oh, it went great. We had good food. We had a huge crowd. I think we had the biggest crowd ever at a football banquet. And, it's just a good night. Every year I get very tense and anxious about it because it is sort of like an ending ritual. But then afterward I feel great. It was terrific.
What did you talk about during the banquet?
Normally what happens, I do the cheerleaders go first, and they're wonderful, and then I do my opening remarks, and then we feed everybody, then we do the JV, then we do the junior, sophomore letter winners, and then I call up each senior individually and talk about them and about their accomplishments and who they are and what they mean to the program. And then after that, we do our team awards, which people vote on. And then after that, it's hugs and handshakes and goodbyes, and that's that. But it's a good program. It's fun.
Did you talk about the season to the parents and the players?
Yeah, I give them a little overview. I give them some highlights. Honestly, I'm not a big statistics guy. I just don't think the game is all numbers. I think it's about people. So I really don't get into the gory details, but I do talk about the season, definitely.
Okay, well, that is all the time we have today. Thank you for coming on every single week to talk about football, and thank you for coming on the show. This is Huddle Up, and we will be right back after this.
Do you know how bad cigarettes are for your lungs? You could get scarred lungs, emphysema, or lung cancer.
I had no idea, but thanks for enlightening me at least.
No problem. That's my duty as a SAD member. If you want to join, we meet every last Thursday of every month in room 307. Help me, help your friends, and help yourself. And join SAD.
That's our show, and that's the season of Huddle Up. We have filmed this program every Tuesday during the season at the SBSN studios. I would like to thank the entire control room and production crew, which is the TB2 class at Spotswood High School. I want to thank all the players who have sat here week after week to talk about not just their season, but about themselves as well. Most important, I want to thank you, the viewer. Each and every week you have joined us on SBSN to celebrate Chargers football. For the last time, this has been Huddle Up. Thank you for watching.